Okay guys, sorry I'm not here for today's lesson. These are the instructions for today. Feel free to pause the video and read them. One of the things you need to make sure you do first is have your homework out and then take the exponents check on Canvas. Really important for today. Get those practice problems glued into your notebook. Make sure you do all that stuff. I'm going to slide down to the next slide. Feel free to pause the video if you're not ready for that yet. For you to be able to check your homework. Please only check your homework after you've done the exponents check. Here's the answer key to the homework. The top half. A couple things to really pay attention to are when the parentheses are there and when the parentheses aren't, how that affects the sign of your answer. Don't forget on 3 and 6 that anything to the 0 power is 1. So on number 3, since 12 to the 0 power is 1, with a negative in front, the answer is going to be negative 1. And here's the bottom half. Feel free to rewind the video if you didn't get finished grading the previous slide. All right, we are doing order of operations with. All right, don't forget you should have already done your exponents homework check before you watch this video. Make sure that you've finished your homework check, done the quick quad. We'll go over the quick quad another day. We are going to be talking about order of operations with PEMDAS. PEMDAS, what does that mean? Who remembers? And pause the video if you don't remember. Now, what PEMDAS is referring to is the order of operations. PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, so 2 to the 3rd, right? That's this part. Multiplication and division. Notice, it's important that we know that multiplication does not have to come first. Multiplication does not have to come first. Then addition and subtraction. So multiplication and division. And then addition and subtraction. So keeping in mind that addition does not have to come first. Multiplication and division and addition and subtraction are both done left to right. That's really, really important for us, that they're done left to right. So we've got these problems that you have glued into your notebook. We're only going to do the first 4 together, but I'll have the rest of them up on the video for you to copy in case you want it. I'll give you further instructions after we do the first 4 together. So take a look at A and B. Notice what's the only difference between them. Good, hopefully you said parentheses on A and no parentheses on B. So we know that what's getting squared is actually the only big difference. But it's going to have a really big difference in the outcome of the problem. So when we do this problem, what's being squared on A is the parentheses. So we have to have negative 4 in parentheses times negative 4 in parentheses. And so negative 4 times negative 4, same sign, positive, gives us a 16 plus 10 times 2. Now we're ready for the multiplication step, left to right, 16 plus 20. And now we're ready for addition. 16 plus 20 is 36. Now how is the letter B going to be different? Well, what's getting squared is different. So we're going to have a negative on the outside and then a 4 times a 4 on the inside. So that changes the whole process. That changes what the whole outcome is going to be. Because instead of a positive 16, we're going to have a negative 16. And of course, the 10 times 2 sticks around just like it did before. So now this is negative 16 plus 20. And we know from the add wrap that negative 16 plus 20, same sign add, different sign subtract. So 20 minus 16 is 4. Keep the sign of the bigger one. Which one's bigger? Which one's bigger? Good, the 20 is the bigger one, so that one's going to be bigger. So it's going to stay positive 4. Good. All right, let's take a look at C. So we're looking at both C and D here. Notice the difference between C and D. What's the difference? The parentheses. So that changes the order of operations, right? Because parentheses comes first. So the difference between C and D is that C, we're going to do the parentheses first. D, we're going to do the exponent first. So let's do C together and see what we get. Yes, I totally went there. So we know that 5 times 3 is 15, and that's inside the parentheses squared, plus 8. And for those of you who don't know what 15 squared is, that's okay. 15 times 15, that's what that is. 15 times 15 plus 8. 15 times 15 is 225 plus 8. 225 plus 8 is going to be 233. So pretty big numbers. That's okay. We can work with those. Now let's look at D, knowing what's happening with C. So there's no parentheses here, so the order of operations tells us that the exponents are what's going to happen first, since there's no parentheses. So 5 times, what's 3 squared mean? Well, that means 3 times 3, right? Plus 8. So 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 9 plus 8. Let me fix that 9. There we go. 5 times 9 is 45 plus 8. Sorry, that plus sign looks a little funky. There we go. And 45 plus 8 is, of course, 53. So big difference between D and C, right? Big difference because of that set of parentheses. Now, that's all we have for notes. If you'd like to get the rest of these, I'm going to slide down in the screen. If you're done with these, that's great. Feel free to stop the video and move on to the homework. So here's the rest of them. Feel free to pause the video here to understand what's going on those. Remember, you're not required to copy these down. And there's the last 3. I wasn't planning on doing these ones in class anyway, but here's them worked out in case you want to see them. Great. So your homework is the order of operations matching worksheet. Now, you didn't pick up a worksheet. That's because it's only found on Canvas. So make sure you go to Canvas and find that. Okay, make sure you go to Canvas and find that. Here, I'll show you where that is. So you'll go to today's module, which is order of operations with negatives. And then here is the order of operations matching worksheet. Notice what it says to do. It says copy the problems into your notebook to do your work. So make sure you click on that, open it up. It should have all those problems there for you. Should have them. It's getting there. Good, there they are. Notice, copy and complete these problems in your notebook, show all your work, and circle your answers. You should find your answers on the list at the right. So these are some intense problems. So I want you working with a group of 3 or 4. Once you're working with a group of 3 or 4, make sure that you are, in fact, talking to each other. Please make sure you're helping each other out. Don't just work with people who you know are going to give you the answers. Work together. All of these answers should be found over here. Take the rest of the time to work on those.